today, thank you guys. Obviously, this is the first week we're doing the 3-day thing, and I have to kind of work around my schedule. Trudy's here, guys. Hi, Trudy. So the goal is Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays doing this class. And for you to just kind of, if you keep track on YouTube, we will tell you what time we're coming. Like the night before, you should receive a message and it will say like, today is this time. We did see you finally, Louisa. And so that way, if you guys can't like come all the time at a certain time, like today I got like maybe like 40 messages from people saying, I want to do it, but I'm working. It's going to be on here. But try to do it in order. Instead of like, if you can't make it and then you come to us, don't come, like if you've missed 8 classes and then you come to us, because then you might feel like, ugh, this is like too much. And because this is not so much of a workout, it is a workout. It's an internal workout. We do some workouts that are for the external, and then you do some that are for the internal. So this is more focused on us, you know, going within ourselves, finding places in our body. It's almost like scope, you know, going, pouring a little bit of water. That's what I do. Let's say you were one of my clients and you got here. The first thing I would do, I would sit with you and I would talk to you. And as a healer, as I sit and talk to people, I can tell what's going on with them. And I have this gift where I can see things in people's eyes. So your eyes, like when you wake up in the morning, can tell you a lot, you know? So learning about yourself. And so when you close your eyes, you have this other eye, right? It's internal. And you notice I close my eyes a lot. Sometimes when I'm even mad at my kids, I'll close my eyes and talk to them. It's because in here, there's a place that you can go to that's safe. And it's outside of here, you know? So when you go to this safe place, you close your eyes, all of a sudden everything on the outside disappears, and then you can create a portal inside your own head. And mine is I'll tell you what mine looks like. It's a fireplace, and I have like, I wonder if it's my house in heaven, because I always see it. There's a fireplace and there's a lot of windows. And that's where I put myself immediately. And when I get there, I feel safe. I think that's probably like somewhere I used to be. So if you can create a space in your mind, like right now when we lay down for the first couple of minutes, I want you to, if it's hard for you to create a space, take yourself back to somewhere in your childhood that you went to, that you could remember, and it was like peace. You knew that was the place. Like some people, when in my yoga room, at the end, I would ask people, like, where did you go? And someone would say, Disneyland. Where did you go? Hawaii. Where did you go? To my grandmother's backyard. And I'm like, that one makes me like bawl my fucking eyeballs out, you know? And I said, like, what did you do in your grandmother's backyard? And she said, well, I did everything I did when I was 2. And it's like, oh my God, it makes me so emotional because that's what made her happy, you know? And so you can create those little spaces. That's how I deal with trolls on TikTok now. As soon as they come in, I say to myself, don't react. Close your eyes. Don't react. Don't react. Because it's going to go away. You know, these are not people. They're just things. And so I want you guys to have a safe place right before you get angry. And that's what we're going to work on. Shake it, baby. Okay. So we're going to go down on the ground now. And remember, guys, you can always put a pillow behind you. So that way you're a little elevated. I'll put my block. And don't worry, you don't have to look at me, okay? You don't have to look at me. I want you to close your eyes. I'm pretty good at explaining things. So, hi guys, we're all here together in the hotel room in Vegas. Bitches, time to sleep. No one's going out anywhere. There'll be no gambling, no pool, no strip walking until we are safe. Oh gosh, this is great. And let me tell you another thing. In the future, next week when we start these classes, I promise you it will be 30 minutes. And then I might talk at the end. And if you guys want to hang out at the end, great. That way you know that you can say, okay, Netta, I did my 30 minutes and I'm done. Okay? So right now we're going to create a little space. And I dress really warm for this. Like I'm wearing like 3 shirts. And I'm wearing like flannel shorts and sweatpants just to feel warm. So sometimes putting a blanket on you helps. Oh, Candy, send me a picture when you get a chance. I'm gonna see you guys. We're gonna try to keep our eyes closed for 15 minutes. It's a hard thing to do. Believe me, it's a hard thing to do. So the beginning ride that we're on right now, you're on Netta's bus. Let's get on the bus. And before the bus gets to the destination, where is your destination? Where are we going? Because every one of us are in the same bus, but we're all on a different timeline. So where are you going? And just take yourself there for a moment. As a matter of fact, don't just show up there. Get ready. Be excited. And I know a lot of time visualization is extremely hard for a lot of people because there's so much other thoughts that interfere. So I want you right now to focus on breath. Every inhale, every exhale is going to be in your focus. Welcome, Gracie. Now, the first thing I want every one of my beautiful angels to do is make sure, right now we're gonna start with the bottoms of our feet, okay? I want you to pick up one leg, point, flex, and make a little circle, okay? And then put it back down. Now, while you're preparing your beautiful mind, I want you to do the other side. You're pointing, you're flexing, and you're making a little circle. We're gonna start with the tippy toe. And then put it down. And what I want you to do right now is focus, since we're taking ourselves places and we have to keep our eyes closed. I want you to just stay where you're going in the mind. And if any other intruding thoughts come in, I want you to take it, put it on a cloud, and send it away. So that you can be mindful, even if you don't do anything with the mind today, even if you can't visualize, you can't meditate, and the whole time you're here, you're just focusing on mindfulness and breath. So every inhale, every exhale is your focus, okay? So right now our tippy toes are touching. Cool air through the nose, going through the navel and chest. So it's kind of raising everything up. I want you to hold your breath for just a moment. And what I want you to do is crumble up your sacral and solar plexus by taking your stomach and smushing it in together and then breathing out. So when I inhale, I'm inhaling and letting everything in my body go. I mean everything. So you're trying to stay inside your stomach and chest. Once it rises, if you hold your breath for one moment, you're deflating. So on the inhale, your balloon is inflating. On your exhale, it's deflating. And your balloon is your belly. And I don't want you to breathe in your rib cage. I want you to breathe from your navel to the chest. So when you're getting that cool air in the nose, It starts from the belly and it rises in the chest. While you're holding your breath, you're going back to the belly and you're trying to take it from the chest down to the navel to the ground. So the inhale is bringing the belly all the way up. And the exhale is taking it all the way back into the earth. And what you're really trying to do is avoid the rib cage, avoid the neck, avoid the shoulders, avoid joints, and just think about the belly, the chest, the breath, the throat, the nose. And what you're trying to do is pump your navel. Every time I breathe out, if I pull my navel into the earth, I'm dumping it all. And I inhale and I push it out, and then I exhale and I pull it in. But I don't want to do it so dramatic. I want to do it where it feels good, where I can manage it. I can say to my breath, hey, I'm going to take you up. I'm going to bring you back. Instead of letting our breath take us. And that's what I want you to focus on right now. And while you're there, my friend, I want you to think about what you're doing for yourself right now. Okay, your nervous system gets so triggered in this world that we live in. And everything triggers us now because we're extremely sensitive. And, you know, with the new earth coming, we're learning about this new earth, right? But then at the same time, we don't know exactly how do we live in this new earth that we've never lived in before, and how do we stay here now? And that's our goal today. So you just keep focusing on that breath, knowing that when you get really, really stressed, that the breath can actually calm us. And back in the days, they used to give kids a 10-second timeout, and they used to teach us, give your kids a 10-second timeout. Give yourself one, not your kids. Give yourself one. Because we're the ones that needed to deal with our kids, because our own high-powered, high-strung stress goes on to them. So if we're calmer, automatically everyone in our Merkaba, in our energy field, is calmer. And so right now, you might think to yourself, what a waste of time. I'm laying here just breathing. I could have done this without Netta. That's the whole point. You could. But there's certain things I'm going to teach you today, how to release some of this yucky stuff in our solar, in our sacral. And what I want you to do right now is float your feet from the tippy toe to your heel. And all I want you to do is pick up the toe, pick up the heel. And when you land your feet, and then I want you to just kind of pick one up at a time. And what you're doing right now is most of you will be using your hips. And what I don't want you to do is use your hips. So every time you step your foot up and every time you step your foot down, I want you to try to do it with your belly. So you're doing the same exact breath. Okay, so when I inhale, I pick up my foot and then I exhale, pulling my navel into the ground, and I touch my foot. And listen, my friend, you don't even have to pick up the foot. You could just pick up the heel and put it down. Now, this is actually pretty hard for a lot of people to do, because a lot of people, when they pick up their feet, it automatically is hooked up to their hip flexors. And today I want to teach you that the bottoms of each of your feet, all the way to the tippy toe, has the power to help you pick up the other foot. So if you really float your opposite foot on the ground, almost like you're trying to outline it, and then you pick up that other leg, you'll notice that the lower bones of the back stay on the ground. I'm gonna suck my navel in to put my foot down. So that means that when I come in now and I come back down, it's all through the navel. So stop for 1 second. Inhale, exhale, ready? We're gonna inhale, pick up the foot. Exhale, put it down. Now, if you can't control your belly by lifting and lowering, all I want you to do is keep your feet down and tuck your pelvis on the breath out and just gently let it go. Because we're doing the same thing when we lift our foot. We're smushing the belly into the ground, keeping the navel, the lower back, touching the floor the entire time. So every time I pick up my foot off the ground, the bones that are above my hip and below my hip touch. My tailbone touches. Thank you. And I promise you, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying my best to keep everybody mindful and not talk in the middle of your mindfulness to others. But I'll read all your messages soon. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Keep those palms relaxed. Right now, what's feeling really amazing is leaving the bones out and just trying to learn how my stomach can actually pick my leg up and take my leg down. This is a below the waist. And then I want you to slide your heel out, slide your heel back. Now you'll notice something. If you put your hands at the bottom of your hips, when you slide your legs out and you slide it back in, stay below the bones of your hips and back. Use the center. Right now, my core is able to suck in. So if I inhale, I scoop my leg. I suck my belly in to come back. Inhale, slide, and bring it back. Trying to avoid the hips. Today, you might be feeling a lot of your hips. That's okay. We're teaching you that your center, if I put 3 heavy bricks down on your pubic, on your navel, and above your navel, that stays into the earth the whole time. And some of you are sliding, and some of you can pick it up. My chest is relaxed. My upper body is fully letting go of all stress. I've given it all to my lower, sucking my navel in. You're just sliding and bringing back. This is actually one of the most important exercises you could ever do in your life, because 90% of us are so stuck here that you can't even separate it. And you wonder why you have a bad back. Because you're walking on your back instead of letting your belly and all your core, and believe it, where you pee-pee from, that area carries a lot of strength that you could use. Stop for a second and relax. Now, we've done a little bit of the legs, came up to the navel, and now I want to take you to the upper. Now for me, I like to be flat on the floor, but a lot of people cannot lay like this and feel the floor. That's why you have a little cushion behind your head. Turn your palms up. Whenever my feet are down and I want to go up to the waist, I'm still going to be in my core. So right now, let's do this. Inhale, exhale, pull the navel in. Inhale. I inhale. Up. I exhale. I want you to take your nostrils and fill up the body with the big, cool air. Before you empty everything, go to the navel. The next time, I want you to take your right arm up and down. Now listen, you have to be on your shoulder blades. My navel is down, my back is flat, my legs are nice and tight, meaning I can feel the ground. When I take my arms up, I'm not gonna let my rib cage move, and I'm doing it from my back. So right now, when you see my arms go up and down, my rib cage is not at all moving. It hasn't moved once. This is me connecting under my armpit, and what you're gonna feel on the floor are your wings. Every time I take my arm over my head, I wanna feel my entire shoulder blade on the ground, and then I wanna push it into the ground and bring it back. Inhale up. Exhale, navel, stomach, shoulder blades into the ground. Some of you can do two. Rib cage is not involved. My stomach and my shoulder blades are involved here. Every time I inhale, my stomach, my legs, everything is tight, but I'm relaxing my belly. My exhale is sucking my navel in. Now, if you can keep your navel in on the breath, try to wave the arms one at a time, leaving the shoulder blades on the ground, keeping the rib cage out of it, trying to disconnect the arm that's always stuck to our neck. It's always stuck to our rib cage. Welcome. What are your feet doing? Are they floating? Can you feel your core being part of your exhale going into the earth? Inhale, staying in the earth, but exhaling, really trying to pull it in. And whenever you're ready, I want you to just take your hands one at a time and stick it behind the back of your head. Lift just your head. Take the other one back, and you're just gonna cup your head. My shoulders are touching the ground. Lay back down, and I want you to think of the two wings that you were just utilizing, and I'll open that beautiful chest, and you'll notice that your wings are not so easily pressed into the earth because they're crumbling and they're stuck in the back of the neck. So if I brought my elbows together, okay, and stayed right here, take a deep inhale. Crumble up your belly on the exhale. When I go to lift my head up off the floor, I'm not lifting my head, I'm sucking my belly. So if my navel goes into the earth to lift my head up, I'm just protecting my head. And if I let my navel and my vagina, where we pee-pee from, bring us back down, if slowly, and then open. So inhale first. Exhale, pulling in the core, and then lifting your head up by doing exactly what you did earlier, by just sucking the navel in, pulling your belly into your body, lifting your gift, and letting the navel and your tailbone take you back down. So you're inhaling, expanding. On the exhale, you start from where you pee-pee and then to the belly. So you go pull in, take my rib cage to my hip, but I'm not using my rib cage. I'm using my core where I pee-pee from. And I hold my pee-pee to take my upper body back down. And then I just relax. And then I have to start again. Inhale. As I'm holding my breath, I'm crumbling up my sacral, solar plexus, and where I pee-pee from. I'm sorry to say this, but where the tampon goes in, you're pulling it in, pulling it in, pulling it in. Some of you are not gonna go so high. It's okay. That's why your eyes are closed. As long as you can feel that your belly is sucking into the ground, and as you go back down, you're sucking into the ground. Once the knuckles touch, you expand your chest. And then I want you to keep your feet flat, and very slowly, by tightening your butt, you're gonna open the inner thighs. It's only gonna go to the outside of your feet. Do not use your hips. When I bring my inner thighs back, I do it through core and where I pee-pee from. Inhale first. Ready? Pull it in. Suck in your stomach. Bring those thighs together and lift your head and crunch. My head is just being protected. I'm not using my hands. And then when I go back down, it's all through my core. Relax the shoulders. And remember, whenever I open my inner thighs, I'm doing it through my stomach, but by not letting my hips involved. So this is my inner thigh. Once it's open, I'm on the outside of my feet. I'm gonna inhale. I'm gonna go to my core, pull in that pretend tampon, suck it in, and bring everything back. And when I go back down, I don't let my tailbone or my lower back off the ground. And then I just open, okay? 1 minute. Now, if I want to flow it all at once, I go. But all my center is expanding my outer. So we haven't used our rib cage. We haven't used our hip flexors. We are using our where we pee, our navel, and a little bit of our butt cheeks and our thighs. Don't forget to breathe in before you up. Exhale. Don't forget, you're exhaling, inhaling back down. And if you need to stay down and wait it out a couple breaths, it really is not cheating. It's listening to your body. Now, some of you are going to be able to bring yourself all the way up. I do not want you to do it unless it feels like you want to. But if you notice, I'm doing exactly what you're still doing. I'm still in my core. Good job. I want every one of you to gently bring your knees into your chest, flex your feet. Don't use the hip flexors. Keep your tailbone down. Keep the sides of your hips down. See, as I lift my legs, I'm gonna have my butt, right? I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna go little bit at a time because this is where your lower back is tight. So I'm not gonna yank it in. I'm gonna suck my belly in. I love Maria's mat. It's for gymnastics, I think. Imagine everybody right now on a yellow, green, and blue, and red mat with all those beautiful chakras. Can you see any color right now? You guys, I'm gonna tell you something really, really funny, okay? So as my eyes are shut, somebody just flicked me off. Somebody just flicked me off in my head. I was like, and I'll tell you, I know who it was. Harlan used to flick me off all the time. It was our funny joke, okay? So he would make a fist and he would blow in it and then he would flick me off. He would take like he was trying to wheel in a fish and he would flick me off. And his birthday is in April and I've been channeling him. So right now he just flicked me off and I saw the biggest smile on his face. If you close your eyes during these times, when you're at your most comfortable place in your head, they show up for you. And sometimes you'll see them quickly, sometimes you'll see a little pattern. Sometimes you'll see a sprinkle of something. Sometimes you'll see a picture like a Polaroid. Sometimes you'll see, remember like you know what I'm talking about. When we were young, we used to put these things in our eyes. I can't say the word, I'm sorry. And you remember we used to change the film and it used to change? That's what it could look like in front of you. Kaleidoscope. So right now, keep your eyes closed. And even if you have to laugh at yourself, you may fart, just roll over to one side and just fall. And then you're gonna be stuck, right? Because you're holding yourself like a little ball. How could you go back? You have to suck in your core. Boom, 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 boom. And then I'm gonna fall over to the other side. Some of you are not even gonna be able to fall over to one side. Now what you're doing is you can also push with your arm that's below you to help. Close your eyes, okay? Just tumble over. I wanna tell you a really funny story here, okay? This is such a netta meditation moment. So one night, me and 3 other girls, women, it was like when Isabella and Sebastian were very young, I used to do like a girls' night out, you know, with my girlfriends. And we were all moms. And I was always the driver. No one was allowed to drive except me, obviously because I didn't drink. And so we were all out and we were coming back. And my friend Allison, she really had a pee-pee problem. It was like everywhere we went, she had to pee. And then even at the kids, we used to go to like the kids' jumpy homes or bouncy homes, and everywhere we went, I used to remind her to bring an extra pair of underwear because she'd pee all the time. And so I started to realize, oh my God, women after babies, they pee. And so I started to do vagina workouts immediately because I was like, girls, I'm not gonna be like these women. So I started doing a lot of Kegels. And so right now, if you really try to hold your pee-pee when you're coming back in, look, if I'm, pull my pee-pee, pull my pee-pee, pull my pee-pee. It helps you. Because your vagina muscles are strong, your internal muscles are strong, Jenny. You got those, and you can really use them. Pull them in, pull them in, pull them in. It's like a string. I know women who have vaginas who don't even use them. So really, it's about what you do with it. So anyway, one night, I always told these moms, you guys got to start doing your Kegels, and they didn't listen to me. So a night we went out and we were 6 women, or maybe 5, and we took 2 extra women out with us. We went dancing and we came back and I was dropping one of them off in the neighborhood, in a very, very fancy neighborhood. Come back to the middle and drop your feet slowly. Now remember when we first had our legs out? So the thing I want to do now is extend your legs for a moment, one at a time. Find your hip flexors. Now I guarantee you when you put your legs out, they go out. Okay? How hard is it to keep it up? So if you take that pillow that you had before and you just put it underneath your feet, or just take a pillow in the future, you don't have to do it now, but if you put it underneath your legs, your back will always be flat. You don't need a lot. So if you have a hard time keeping your feet up, if you place it on something, it will help you. Because then you can focus on the bones of your back and keep your hips like 2 headlights. Your toes, your hips, your knees are like 2 headlights. Is it normal for it to hurt hip bones? Yes. That's exactly what I'm trying to teach you guys, is to not use the hip bones. So if it's hurting, it's a good sign to let you know it's exactly what you've been using. So what I want you to do, my beautiful Gracie, is really that holding the pee today is like teaching you that you can hold your pee to lift something off the ground. Hold your pee to move. Hold your pee to lift and lower the legs. Even right now, to keep our toes up, I gotta hold my pee in, not my breath, to keep my big toe aligned with my inner arch, my knee, so I can align you. Now, there's something I never told you guys on TikTok. One of the reasons why I'm one of the most popular in the industry is I know how to, these men don't wanna see people. And so I have a gift where I can talk to them on their cell phone, and I can tell them what to do, how they feel, what they're doing, and they freak out. They're like, how do you know? I'm like, I just do. So that's why I became extremely famous in the industry. I get phone calls from high-powered people that you would not believe, because they're so stressed and they're looking for someone like me, and then I treat them and then I become them and I walk around like a zombie. So I've learned that that's why they're growing, because of people like us. We've been feeding them, and we've been giving our own energy and power to corporations, to your bosses, to our family members. They're always demanding more and more and more and more. And you're like, dude, this is all I got. And then they realize when you're gone, whoa, I want that back. So right now, what I'm trying to teach you guys is how to deal with life. Because our body, when it's open and free and it feels good, you can deal with life. That's why athletes have to train. So you are an athlete in training for life. This is your weapon. That's why I don't get jealous of my friends. All my friends are millionaires and billionaires. They don't work, they're filthy rich. They have wonderful lives on the surface. When you're on the phone with them, they're miserable. And you're not, because you've chose to live internally, unlike these people, where you used to compare yourself on the outside to these people. Start comparing your inner to these people, and you'll realize, whoa, you're not doing plastic surgery every week. You're not literally, the things that these people tell me, they've never admitted it to all of you. And I wish they would, so that you can see that some of the people we idolize deal with heavy stuff inside them. And to be happy inside, you can't do it from the outside. Okay? So when I tell you I want your body to feel good, I don't want you to be skinny. I want you to feel good. Obviously, I don't want you to carry fat around your stomach, because I know what gives people heart attacks. So when I'm a little bit hard on you physically and I say, guys, you gotta work on this, gotta work on that, it's like when I'm to my husband, I love my husband. I care about him. And so we're killing ourselves every day by the foods we eat because we're feeding our stress. Your internal doesn't want the shit we eat. So I want to take you on this healthy journey where we can all quit the sugar, we can all stop eating meat. Honestly, the meat is killing all of us, it is. And just working on one step at a time. I'm not telling you to do everything today. So what is it that you do that sabotages you? Think about it right now in this moment. And don't worry, you might even do it again tonight. But if you start focusing one by one, it will get there. Go up the stairs one step at a time. Now, the funny story I wanted to tell you guys has to do with your pee-pee, right where we pee. So what I want you to do now is I want you to bring one knee into your chest at a time. But when you go to pick it up off the ground, what are you using? None of the bones on the outside of your body, inner. So it's gonna take you a second to pull it in, right? Because I'm not just gonna pull it in. I'm gonna slide, suck my navel, keep my lower back flat, grab it, flex it, bring it in, extend it out, put it back, and then how am I gonna go back down without pulling my hip flexors? I'm going to utilize the leg on the ground. I'm gonna utilize my stomach and I'm gonna bring it down because I'm avoiding my hips, Gracie. So I think, Gracie, when you get about to your hip flexor, don't pull it in too much. And when you go to let it go, do the exact same thing you guys did with your stomach, but see how we have our legs now? We're trying to keep that alignment. So if you push on your opposite leg, it will help you a lot. Don't let your knee go to the armpits. Get the knee to go to the center. When you let it go, you're vulnerable because it's attached to your hip. So you have to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slide it in. You can stay here for a few breaths. Don't rush it. Even if you don't want to extend it up, you can just bring it in, let it go carefully. Have fun with it, okay? Just take a moment. Remember, when I go down, I'm using my stomach and my butt of the opposite leg. So Gracie, if you really push down on your butt, on your stomach, on your muscles, on the opposite, so this is my left leg, right? When I go to take my left leg down, I'm gonna use my right leg. I'm gonna push down on my butt, I'm gonna push down on my leg, I'm gonna push down on my stomach. So we're dropping off these women, right? And my 3 friends are the 3 girls that take my classes, and we invited other moms with us. So these moms live in Calabasas in a gated community where all gated communities have Nest cameras in front of them. And so here I am in my, I had a big silver, what do they call it? Navigator. I had a big silver Navigator, and it was all like pumped up and pop, 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 pop. You can hear me coming from miles away. And so these girls have to pee, and they're like, Netta, you gotta pull over, you gotta pull over. And I was like, oh my God, I can't pull over here. I know half the town here. They all know my car. Like, I cannot pull up here. Well, the moms started screaming in the back because they had a little too much. So they were gonna pee in my car. So I had to stop. So I stop, and I have to be in charge of 6 women in my car, right? 4 of them are a little trashed. And so I'm sober. And so I get out of my car. Don't look at me, guys. Imagine it all. 6 women coming out of a Navigator, 4 of them trying to find bushes. I parked the car in the middle of the street, right in the middle of the street, because I'm not going into any neighborhood. If their Nest camera sees my car, I'm dead. So, and we were on a street of a woman I don't talk to anymore. Literally, I have to pee now thinking about it. I'm gonna pee my pants. So the funniest thing happens. I get out and I'm like, you go there, please, you guys, don't make any noise. And so as I'm trying to tell them where to go, 2 of them peed right there. And as I could hear it, and I looked at her and I go, oh. And then she goes, there's no words at all. And then her friend that she brought was behind her, and she started doing it. And I started screaming, get out of my car, get out of my car. And my friend Allison has a laughing issue. And when she starts laughing, I start laughing. I start laughing, she starts laughing. And one of them, unfortunately, more came out, not just pee, let's just say other things came from the other part. And now we're in the middle of the street. 3 of us are on the floor. I can't even get up. Now there's pee and poop on the middle of the floor. 6 women. And who's gonna clean it? Because we can't leave this like this. So we get back in the car, and I had baby wipes, thank God, but it was like, and one of them also had a little bit come out of their mouth. So it was just, we were there for an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't get home until 6 in the morning. People started getting up in the mornings, going to work while we were still in the car, because I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive. I was sober. I couldn't drive. I couldn't function. I had laughed so much. We were like 6 of us, like we had murdered like 4 people, and we were sitting there figuring out, what are we gonna do? It was nighttime, we couldn't see. We just wanted a little daylight so we can all get out there to clean up the neighborhood. People started getting out, and so we had to leave it. But what you don't know is we have a local newspaper in Calabasas and Malibu, and there was a picture of my car with 6 women who needed to be identified because of the feces and pee that were left in the neighborhood. And my car is there. And everybody knows me. So at the gym the next day, everybody knew it was us. And it was like, it was just one of those moments, like a 40-year-old women. It was so embarrassing. We were in the papers. 6 of us were in the newspaper. Shame on these women. Who were these women? And it was like, you guys, if I can explain it to everyone, it wasn't innocent. It started out innocent. It ended up being a murder, but it started out all innocent. And I had 6 women in my car. I had to stay there. I couldn't drive. It was just a mess. One of my clients, his name is Barry Wolf, and he lived 9 homes down, and he was in charge of the synagogue. And a month later, I had gone to his daughter's bat mitzvah, whatever they call it, and he took me aside and he was like, I know it was you in my neighborhood. You guys, I just want you to know that people don't care. Like, it was funny. So if you ever pee in your, like, okay, so after that incident happened with all these women, I started teaching, pole dancing, and I started to see that women pee. And I was like, dude, I'm never gonna pee. So the one thing I can promise every one of you in this room, in the next 6 weeks, you will be that one that won't pee. Because I'm gonna make your JJs extremely tight down there. We wanna go back to bringing everything back together in, especially if you haven't even had kids yet, or just haven't even developed all the way yet. So this is like the best opportunity for you as a person to become strong, So those moments in life, they're funny, they're really funny, but then it really reminds you like, oh shit, like when you get older, because my friends were older than me, it made me realize like, oh my gosh, this is like for real stuff that happens, So I want you guys to start using this more. Like when you are right now hugging your knees in, pull your core in. Think of all those things, and I'm sure we've all had these incidents, funny incidents like this. But that was just one of mine. I'll never forget it. I still talk to the group of women, and it's always been that like funny memory that we all don't want to talk about. It's just a good one. Yeah, exactly. Amanda, she's like, I've had 5 kids. Of course I pee. And it's okay. It's nothing to be shy about. Okay? Nothing to be shy about. So if you have that problem, this is going to help you. I mean it. Like, I've been helping women and men, just so you know. Because that area down there, it's the same. It's the same. Just functions a little differently, but it's basically the same. And I look over to the right, and this box says gravity. That's exactly it. Gravity does take control of us. And whenever you're done on this last one, you can go ahead and take a moment, roll yourself to the side, and have a seat.